Well, let's do a follow-up video on the Benelli. This is the Benelli M2 Field that's had a little conversion work done on it. And in my previous video I said updates to follow. For those of you that were hoping to see a how-to video, you ain't gonna see it here, brother. I had some modification work done to it through C-RUMS out of Springfield, Missouri. And there sets the Benelli M2 in more of a competition version. I sent it out about 3 weeks ago to Jeff at C-RUMS, and I've been doing some research, wanted to find out some things, was just trying to get an idea of what I could do with the Benelli M2 Field to make it 3-gun competition ready. Jeff over at C-RUMS sent me a list of basically everything that can be done to a Benelli, so I went ahead and signed the list. So let's take a minute and kind of go over what he did and see if we can't get a closer look. Alright, so first things first, C-RUMS is known for modifying the carrier. Let me just move that in a little bit. And there are quite a few videos out there. Let's see if I, there we go. Quite a few videos out there regarding the Benelli carrier and the fork on it. And Jeff's got a unique ability to basically fix that. That was certainly one of the things that I wanted to have done to it. If you're not careful on the Benelli and got your thumb knuckle forward when you're loading, it'll basically take your thumbnail off. So that was one thing that I wanted to have done, and he certainly did a fine job on that. He also beveled and extended the loading port. See if I can get that a little closer. I've got it a little scratched up today from running some rounds through it, but it is certainly smoothed out, extended down a little bit. He's taken it all the way over to the edge there. I've got it a little scratched up from slapping rounds through it. It's not a black oxide finish that's put on there, but it certainly looked new when it came in. Let's see, what else did he do? He throated the barrel, and this is going to be kind of hard to see, but originally there was a lip inside there. Yeah, that is hard to see. A rim around it, and he certainly run a tool through there and taken that edge off, which helps quite a bit in loading rounds. Next, the extended bolt release. Very, very nice touch on this one. I had a couple of different ways to go with the extended bolt release, and there's a bar option that you could go with, or the button option, but this is really a nice bolt release. I mean, it works from a couple different angles. He's got it set up in there and tuned real nice. But it was real easy to use that, and I could certainly see, you know, I'll be doing a weekend load and then just flipping it and slapping it. That'll certainly work out well for me. Let me move that camera back just a little bit. There we go. Let's see, out of battery modification, Jeff had explained to me that without the bolt all the way forward, that it's got a modification to where you can still load while it's out of battery instead of completely in battery. It was on the list. I said, yeah, go ahead and do it. I'm not really sure the need for it. Bolt lightning. Well, that's one that you can pick up on right away. He has certainly done some fine mill work on here. Originally, you could see from the first video, it was a blackened round bolt in there. And it certainly takes a lot of the cycle feel out. For some reason, I guess because the bolt's not as heavy, you can't really feel the weapon cycling. Although it didn't cycle that heavy before, but it was very smooth in shooting it. Modifying the bolt for ghost loading. Again, I haven't ghost loaded yet, but my assumption is that usually the carrier pops up, and in this case he's done some mod work that would allow the carrier to flip down to allow that extra load to basically float there in the chamber. So that would give me a total of 10 that I could use. Now, the front sight. The Benelli's got a very small bead front sight, and we decided to go with a Nordic front sight. And boy, did that really make a difference. And then also, we decided to add under Jeff's direction, a Nordic rear sight. Let me see if I can. Well, that's going to be kind of hard to do, but I want you to see if you can get a look at how well that just kind of pops out there. Now with this, Jeff also sent the rest of the pack of the red and fluorescent sights to go with it, so if they pop out later, I've certainly got enough spares. That was nice of him to do that instead of just sticking one in there. Trigger job. This was probably one of the more impressive parts of this. The Benelli, when I originally shot it, you saw in the first video, it had about a 1/4 inch of creep, and then it would come back to contact and then snap. There is absolutely no creep in this. He has lightened it from about a 5 or 5.5 pound to something closer to a 3.5 pound. And I got to tell you, out of all the work that he does, I'm really impressed with the trigger job. It makes such a big difference. We'll see some video in a minute where I head it out, but I compared this to a Benelli Field in probably a 28-inch barrel, and there was a night and day difference between those triggers, and I'm just very impressed with that. Jeff and his crew did a great job on that trigger job. The tube kit, well, I obviously went with the +5 extension, and I went with the +5 partly because it's flush to the end. I could have gone with the +6, he's got those in stock also, but with the ghost load option, I've got 8 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, and then 1 floating. That's certainly good for me. The barrel clamp, not really sure if it's necessary, but I kind of like the look of it. One thing about the barrel clamp, obviously you've got to pop that off to take the weapon apart to clean it, but I just kind of like the look of that. It makes it look badass. And the charging handle, we went with a Nordic charging handle. I'm not sure small, medium, or large. This one is certainly not that big, but it works well. Didn't really have an opportunity to use it today, but you'll see. So there is the modification work that I had done to the Benelli. I wasn't really sure how far I should go with it. Yeah, I mean, I got a little carried away. But now I don't want anybody to freak out, you know, none of you purists. But the competition pits at the gun range were all booked up this weekend. They had rifle competitions, pistol competitions. So me and a couple of buddies got together and went out and shot trap, of all things. Now it's a 21-inch Benelli, so I choked it down. I went with number 3 choke on there to try and give it a fighting chance. It's not really known for distance at that barrel length, but the upcoming video kind of shows the Benelli in action, at least on a trap range, and hopefully next weekend or the following weekend I'll be able to get out and run it through its paces on more of full magazine load, see how many rounds it can pop off. But I gotta tell you, this is without a doubt by far the smoothest cycling, softest kicking shotgun I have ever shot. And I would compare this to my 223, the Rock River Arms 223, which really is a very light weapon. It's got a little bit more kick than a 22, but for a 12 gauge, this is ridiculous. Now, like I said, me and a couple of buddies went out and shot trap today. No sooner I pulled out the Benelli, a couple of blondes showed up. So there's a little bit of camera work on the Benelli, and our cameraman got distracted. So I hope you enjoy the video. For those of you that have been following this, thank you very much. And hopefully I'll have more updates to follow in the combat pits. See ya!
Hold on, I'm recording you. You ready?
Pull.
Nice.
Do that every time.
That's it.
Pull. Oh, that's sneaky little buggy. Pull.
Good one.
Quick draw. Pull.
Pull.
I think that might be a new record.
5 pounds already.
Oh, okay.
Pull.
Ooh, he comes right on it. Pull. Pull.
Pull.
Pull. Or not. Pull.
I just push this button.
Yes.
Yep.
That's it?
And it's ready.
Where do I hold it? Here?
Sure.
Amazon.
Pull.
No. Pull.
Pull.
Unbelievable.
Pull. Pull.
Good one.
Ah, way to end it.
Damn, no pressure here. Focus in.
Pull. Is that over or what?
A little under, it looked
Oh.
like. Pull. Pull. Oh, that's. Pull.
Nice.
Good one.
Quick draw. Pull. 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 What the hell was that?